again. My name is Ecole, and I am doing just a few videos on taking care of your body and giving you some tips on how to make some things that maybe you're not familiar with because people aren't taught this in school. So this video is going to be about herbs. I am not an herbalist. This is a qualifier. I am not an herbalist. I am a nutritionist, but I'm not an herbalist. This is from personal experience of many years of doing this as my home remedy to boosting my immune system when I feel like I'm getting sick. So take this with a grain of salt, but it's worked for me for years. Knock on wood. I really haven't gotten very sick in the last 20 years. I think I've maybe gotten sick twice. I've never had to take antibiotics for a sickness in the last 30 years. Knock on wood, only when I had an infection in my hand and some other infection in my body. That wasn't a sickness. So this is what I do when I feel like I'm feeling symptoms of getting sick. And what even does that mean? Some people may not know what it means to feel sick. You feel extra tired. Usually where it hits me is in my throat. So if I get a sore throat, swollen glands, scratchy, aches, any kind of aches, like basically if I don't feel great and I feel like I might be coming down with something, I do this like ASAP. Get on it. Don't be like, oh, I'm too tired, I'm on the couch, I feel so tired, I can't get up and do this. No, you have to actually get up and do something for yourself. Or if you've got a really nice person in the house, you can ask them to do it, but you might have to give them instructions or send them this video. So here we go. When I'm not feeling well, particularly throat stuff, I go to my herbal cabinet. And my herbal cabinet contains a bunch of things. Now, I realize you may not have these things at home. So what I suggest is finding your local apothecary and asking if they have these things in bulk. Right now, what ours is doing is you call ahead and they'll package stuff up for you. They're minimizing how many ounces of things people can get because they're trying to distribute it evenly across the city, which is really kind of them. But you can call ahead, have them set it up for you, and then just pay for it online, go pick it up and go. Or just go into the store and ask them to fill these things for you. Usually getting about an ounce of each thing is plenty. It costs less than, a doctor's visit. So I think it's worth it to have these things on hand all the time. My favorite go-tos are Oregon grape, often used as an alternative to golden seal. They do similar things, but I live in Oregon, so this is somewhat local, and I like using local. It's a root, so you use the root of that, so it's kind of yellowish. See if you can see that. Echinacea. I believe angustifolia is the root. You can use the leaf as well, but the root is a little easier to make a tea out of. You don't have to worry about overboiling it or anything. So that's the root of that. Licorice makes everything taste good. Oh my goodness, if you've never had this, I highly recommend going out and getting some licorice root. It is delicious. It's a sweetener, and it just really makes everything taste good. So I just do a pinch of that, and I'll talk about quantities in a minute. Elderberry is an amazingly powerful plant, and I actually have this outside growing, so I pick the berries every year. So this is actually from my garden. It's a bunch of little berries dried. Lemon balm, you probably have it growing somewhere near your house. Maybe, depends on how much cement is around your house. But lemon balm grows, it's an antiviral. This is more of the leaf that you use. And then elderflower, the flowers of the elderberry. I actually bought these because I don't get enough. I want to pick the berries, I don't want to pick the flowers. So I gotta let the flowers go into berries, you know what I mean? So that's pretty much my little herbal. I mean, sometimes I put other things depending, but for the purposes of this video, I just wanted to focus on those herbs. So literally what I do is fill up a big half gallon of water and I pour it into my pan, my pot, my sauce pot. And then I would literally just take like, not that much, maybe like a small handful of each one. You know, and you can use your intuition, but if you're, you know, if you're not unfamiliar with this, then you don't have intuition about it, then don't worry about it. Just use a handful, put it in. I'm not gonna actually make it right now because I already have some in the fridge, but you put about that much into the pot of each one. You don't need to put as much licorice because the licorice is really strong and it's really sweet. You can just literally put like a smaller handful of licorice. As far as elderberry goes, mine are so precious that I don't want to use too many of them. So I just do like a few of them. I'm not going to use all of them, but I would use, you know, maybe like that many, right? So, and then let's see, of the lemon, oh, and then I'm going to talk about this. So anything that's a berry or a root, you're going to put into the pot first. Anything that's a leaf, you're going to wait until after you've boiled it because the leaves are more sensitive. They're more fragile. And you don't want to like really try to get the medicine out of them. You want to steep them. So when you're dealing with roots, you just put the roots in. Like I said, they'll kind of float at the top, and then eventually when it starts heating up, it'll simmer, and then they'll start dropping. And basically, you're going to close the lid. So you're going to put the lid on it, bring it to a boil, and then once it boils, turn it down to simmer for 20 minutes. Okay, so that is all the roots and all the berries. Anything that's just a green leaf, you're going to wait until after it's done boiling or simmering. And then finally, once you're done with the simmering process, turn the heat off, lift the lid up quickly, toss in your leaf, same amount of leaf. So, and the flour too, actually. The flowers are fragile as well, so you don't want to boil them. You just want to steep them. But the leaf, so you're going to throw in a nice little handful of the lemon balm leaf. It's green. That's how you can tell it's a leaf. It's also thin, so it doesn't have as much of the root. You might wonder why I'm crouching. It's because I have a skylight that's very bright in here, so I'm very lucky. But it's making the video very light at the top. So anyway, so then after you have brought it to a boil, then you've turned it down to simmer it for 20 minutes, turn the heat off, lift the lid, throw in the leaf, throw in the flour, close the lid, and let it sit for another 15 minutes. And when you're all done with that, you've got yourself a great concoction of antiviral, antibacterial, immune boosting tea. And it should, I think I have some in the fridge. This is like a cooking show. Da-da-da, where is my tea? And it will look like this. It should look nice and like a beautiful kind of like creamy tan brown color by the end of it. And it tastes ever so slightly sweet, ever so slightly like bitter. It's got a combination of flavors. It's not the most fantastic tasting tea, but it really helps. I mean, seriously, this stuff is my go-to, has been for 20 years. I kind of can't believe I've waited this long to share it with you all. I would just have these herbs in your cabinet at all times to make this as soon as you start feeling crappy. Really, don't doubt yourself. Like, do I have a sore throat? Don't I? No. Just get up. It's a pain in the butt, but do it. And then drink it. Drink it hot if you can. As I said in my last video, the virus doesn't like hot temperatures. So anytime you can drink stuff hot, great. Obviously, don't burn your mouth. You want to put an ice cube in it if it's too hot. But yeah, just make sure that you're drinking warm, hot stuff often to try to minimize the multiplication of the virus in your throat. And this tea will definitely help you boost your immune system. So I hope that's helpful. If for some reason you can't get a hold of herbs, you can always look for tinctures like Echinacea golden seal. Like I said, Oregon grape and golden seal are similar, but there are tinctures made with alcohol. There are tinctures made with glycerin. Echinacea and golden seal are great immune boosters. I think you want to be careful not having golden seal every single day. So this is not an everyday thing, but there are ones without golden seal, and Echinacea is a great immune booster just by itself. And then there's elderberry tinctures. There's a lot of elderberry stuff out there, or elderberry with glycerin. So Echinacea and elderberry seem to be two things that, at least in one post that I saw on Facebook recently, a doctor recommended that those two things would be helpful in this particular situation. So may the force be with you. Be gentle with yourselves. Connect with as many people as you can online, if that's your thing. It's been helping me to do Zoom. And yeah, just take good care of yourself. Okay? Thanks. Take care.